Okay, so we're on our last day here in upstate New York, and the weather is rolling in today, and I want to squeeze in one last dual sport fun ride. So I'm gonna pack up my stuff, use my little pouches here, wallet and cell phone, go in the bar bag, and I'm gonna bring a poncho this year because last year when I did this on the trail, I got absolutely drenched. A storm rolled in, wasn't ready for it, and it was not fun. So we are going to try to avoid that happening again. Alright, so what I need to do is find my straps here, and here they are. We'll get kitted out. This little tactical fanny pack thing, I guess it's a tactical mole bag attachment or something. Really don't know how to say it, but it's worked out pretty well so far this trip. What I'm going to do is attach a hoodie on here because it tends to get a little chilly sometimes. Well, if it rains, I'm going to get really chilly. So then, of course, a second GoPro just in case it come across something cool. We want some third-person footage. Alright, so it's looking like it's going to be good enough for me. Alright, cool. So we're kitted out, and we're going to go on a little adventure. I was looking at Google Maps, and I saw what looked like a quarry that I want to go check out just across the state line in Pennsylvania, and it's an abandoned or old quarry, and it should be interesting to check out. It's actually on the way to some really nice trails, some pretty rugged trails actually that I might hit just for fun. I've been on them already with the Trail 125 this year, and they're pretty rugged, so I might try them with the monkey. I know I can do it, it just isn't going to be the most comfortable ride. So anyways, we're leaving out of our little cabin community here. We're going to transit through some decent little dual sporting roads. So what we're going to do is head out here on this nice little country road at first, and then it's going to transition into a woods road, which opens up into a nicer dirt/gravel road. So we get to test out all of the different conditions that the monkey could encounter, or you can put the monkey through. Alright, so now we're coming up into the woods dirt road sort of portion here. And this trip has kind of caused me to do a little bit of soul searching with the Honda Monkey. I was having a kind of a, I don't know, a period to where I'm looking at the monkey in the garage every time I went out, or every time I went to grab a bike to go do something with, run down to our race car shop or my parents that's right down the street, or go out on a little cruise with the kids and the wife, you know, sunset cruise back home in Florida. And it's just, the monkey was never the choice. It seemed like the monkey was never the bike that I would pick up and take. And that kind of upset me a little bit, because I really was so excited to get the monkey. It was just an awesome throwback bike, and having the 77 Honda Monkey and the Trail 70 that I have up here in New York, growing up with that bike, it was instant nostalgia for me. And I really just fell in love with the monkey when I saw that it was coming out. And I was in the market for a Grom at the time, So I was like, okay, well, this is basically going to be a Grom, but in the style of the old Hondas that I really, really like, the nostalgic 60s and 70s Hondas. So I was down for it immediately. I actually went down and put a deposit down, and I was sold. And then when I got the bike, it was really cool. It was a lot of fun. It was kind of like having the Grom, but with that classic style, just a really cool looking Grom. However, it still didn't hit the mark where I wanted it to, where it was this just Swiss Army knife of play bike like the Grom is. And it wasn't until we decided to do the Woodsman Cup race in Florida that I actually purchased a Grom to do that race with, and added the Grom to my fleet as well as the Monkey. And what ended up happening is that whenever I needed to go do something with the kids, or I wanted to take the kids on a ride, I took the Grom because it has the rear passenger set up, and I could stuff my 4-year-old in front of me on the Grom and then let my 7-year-old ride behind me on the rear passenger seat, and it just worked really well. It was a real comfortable bike to ride with the kids. So that's what I always grabbed, and the Monkey just was never the bike. It's not the go-to bike. And then when I got the Trail 125, which was a bike I wasn't planning on getting, but I wanted to explore some more content and, you know, maybe get a little bit more user-friendly of a bike for my wife to learn on. And the Trail became the go-to bike because it's just so useful. It's so easy to ride, and it has the rack on the back. It was just clearly the no-brainer of a bike if I wanted to carry packages around from the front of our house to our shop in the back where we run our business, or go down to the race shop and get a part for the car. The Trail is clearly the choice of bike for that duty. So that really put the Monkey in a spot to where it just was never getting used. And it kind of was sad because I don't want to get rid of it, but in a way I really don't need it. It wasn't filling a need in my motorcycle fleet, and I really just kind of hang on to it because I like it and it's cool, but I just wasn't using it. So what I decided to do was start adding some parts and maybe start making it into the bike that I could use more, and then eventually look at transitioning the Grom either out of my fleet or just kind of setting it aside until Rennen gets old enough to ride it, and then giving it to him. So I started adding some things onto the Monkey that might allow me to do that. The first thing was rear passenger pegs, and I chose out some simple little deals from WeBike, you know, just whatever they are, 7-speed passenger pegs or something. I have another video about that, and those allowed me to put Rennen on the back and ride pretty comfortably. So that was a good step in the right direction. And then the other things were just more fun things, like making the bike a little bit more comfortable to ride. So I put on these ODI KLX 110 band bars. Just fun stuff like the headlight guard up there, and the auxiliary rock crawling lights I put in. All of these things kind of helped to make the bike a little bit more usable. And of course the accessories, the little bar bag up front and the little fanny pack that hangs off the rear grab bar. All of these things make this bike a little bit more easy to use now, and something that might allow me to just choose it, get up and go to run those little errands with instead of the Grom. So the goal is to try to get this to replace the Grom in my fleet, and allow me to move on to the soul searching part of what I really wanted to do with motorcycles. And this trip has enlightened me to the fact that I had an affliction with small bikes. I don't know why I gravitate towards little play bikes like the Grom and the Monkey, and getting on the Trail allowed me to get onto a little bit bigger of a bike, and I just realized that it's so much easier to ride the Trail 125, whether it's on gravel or on the road. It's just way more composed than these bikes, and it's probably due to the 12-inch wheels on these bikes. They're just, you know, small wheels. They're light, fun, and agile, short. But I'm 200 pounds. I'm a big dude, 6 foot tall, and you know, these bikes get a little bit cramped, and spending time on a bigger bike, even if it's just a little bit bigger of a bike like the Trail, kind of makes me think, like, what am I doing with all these play bikes, right? So add in the dual sporting that I've been doing, and the off-roading, the hard off-roading that I've been doing this trip, and it's kind of helping me decide that I need to move into a bike that better suits my size and what I'm doing with it. So that got me thinking about dual sports, and I had a DRZ 400 once before, and I brought it up here, and the bike was really good up here, but dual sports just don't do. Oh, look at that, it's like a pheasant. That's pretty cool. Dual sports don't do anything great. They try to do everything okay, and the DRZ was just heavy, clunky, and big. You know, it wasn't geared right, but I put good gears and tires on it. It made it okay, but definitely not something that I'd want to like race a hare scramble with, or run an enduro with, or get too crazy with. So that bike, also I never used it on the street. So it was just like a big clunky dirt bike, in my opinion, for what I used it for. So I sold that when I pre-ordered the Monkey, and you know, obviously use the Monkey way more than I use the DRZ. All right, so we are coming up on the road to this old quarry, and I don't know if I'm even allowed to go up here. I'm sure I'm not allowed to go up here. Nobody's ever really allowed to do anything, right? Ooh, second gear is lugging up this. Doesn't really like big inclines. I do have the 14 tooth front, and the I think I went up to a 47 rear, and that really helped it. But first is where you're gonna want to pull out. Everybody dumps all their trash up here. It's kind of a common theme in upstate New York, Pennsylvania, around this area, is to find a abandoned place to dump all your trash. All right, so I don't know much about this quarry, except that it's on the map as Stevens Point. I believe it's called Stevens Point. So maybe it was called Stevens Point Quarry or something, but there's a lot of places on Google Maps up here, just across the PA border from upstate New York where we're at, that looked like they were old quarries. And Rennen and I discovered an old quarry in the woods riding the other day, so that was pretty cool. That was a small one. You can't even see that. It's buried in the woods. There's no way you'd be able to see that on the map. So this one is definitely viewable on Google Maps, so it's a pretty large quarry. And I gotta imagine it's for bluestone, or I don't know, I don't think it's like granite or anything, but I think a lot of these rocks up here are bluestone rocks. So I don't know the history of the mine or the quarry, what they were mining for, so maybe I'll look that up and add the little factoids to the side sheet over here. Okay, so pretty sure people probably come up here often enough to keep this trail battened down, but I don't like to overstay my welcome in places that are clearly not public riding lands. Little pond over there. Alright, so let's see what we got. Another trail goes up that way. Pretty interesting. And oh yeah, there's definitely some big rocks over there. We came a little bit up this road once, took kind of like a wrong turn with our side-by-side. Didn't really get up this far, but I'm kind of familiar with where it's at and where the quarry might be. Oh, it's pretty cool. Oh yeah, there we go. Wow. Alright, so it's definitely a quarry. Pretty interesting. A lot of quarries, you see the bottoms are filled with water, but this is not that way. Well, yeah, it might be because there's like some water plants down there. Really interesting. Definitely like a blast quarry. And you can see the marks on the side of the walls where they either chip stuff away or blasted it, shave off the sheets of rock, and some massive boulders down there. Really interesting. I don't know if the GoPro is going to do it any justice. Pretty cool stuff. We'll see if we can get to the top over there. Alright, so this is clearly the top of something over here. As we see a nice little overlook. Ooh, it's quite the view. Quite the view. Very nice. Very interesting. These are the Appalachian Mountains, I believe. I think we're a little bit north of the Catskills. So we're not quite south enough to be the Catskills, but not really kind of far north enough to be deep in the Adirondacks where like upper central New York is. But nonetheless, pretty nice view. Different levels of the quarry. Pretty interesting. All this stuff is probably done quite a while ago, or at least started quite a while ago. And I was way down there earlier. It didn't really take too long to get up here. And there's different levels. I guess you can go to all the different levels. It's really cool. Really neat stuff. And it looks like there's a road down the other side. I wonder if we can take that road and go all the way up around the quarry, come back down the other side. Cool stuff. Alright, so let's see if we can continue around the loop up there. Go to the very top, ride the edge, come down the other side. It was a really bumpy ride up here. I time warped it because I didn't know how long it was going to take, but ooh, I don't think we're going to be able to go to the other side. Looks like the road's blocked off a little bit. Yeah, I don't think it's an other side affair. Definitely not. Oh look, there's another quarry up there. That looks like it's still being worked. Looks like there might be a truck up there. Interesting. I wonder why they stop quarrying here. Like clearly there's enough rocks still down there. I wonder what the deal is, like if it's that they got the rocks that they need, or is this a certain kind of rock that they want, or a quality of rock. Like why wouldn't they take these boulders? I don't understand mining stuff. I understand a little bit more about the logging industry up here now, and we were riding around in some game lands the other day, and it had been extensively logged, and I actually met a logger at a party last night, and I asked him about it, and he said it was because there's a invasive beetle or bug that's eating the ash trees. So the state of Pennsylvania is proactively logging the ash trees before they're killed off by the bugs, and hopefully maybe it helps keep the bug population down as well, or population, but hopefully it helps if you eliminate the food source for bugs, and hopefully they go away. So pretty interesting. But I don't tend to know much about mining or quarrying, so I don't know why they wouldn't just strip it clean, right? Why'd they leave all those rocks there? All right, here's that really bumpy section. It's a good time to test out the Olin's front fork kit that I put on this bike. I have 2 other videos about that. We have an installation video. It's quite the intense installation, and we have the review video where I go riding around some trails and on some roads around here and tell you how they perform. Ooh. Man, and the soul searching that went on with the bike, which I explained in another video, has a lot to do with what I'm doing right now. And it's kind of like, what am I doing? If I'm going to be doing this stuff, why am I doing it on this bike? And at first it came as like a challenge, so discuss that a little bit more in another video if you're interested. So alright, so we're going to time warp back down here and get to the bottom, and we'll go on our next adventure. Alright, so we made it down the treacherous path, and we're back on the gravel road again. Looks like somebody just freshly passed through here. It's a little dusty. So I'm familiar with this road for sure, as it leads to one of the more aggressive trails that we could take here with the bikes, and it also leads to some really nice roads that are enjoyable to ride. So we're gonna dive into these trails as we're already here. Nice little mountain streams, weird lodge style house with enough firewood to last through the apocalypse. Interesting stuff. Okay, so these trails that we're going to go on are snowmobile trails in the winter. There's another creek. Nice little hidden gems up here. Alright, so that was a fun quarry trip, and pretty interesting to see how industry works, how they chip off all that rock or explode it. There's a lot of like drill marks in it, so I don't know if they drilled through it and then chip it off, or if they dynamite stuff, or maybe a combination of both. I'm pretty intrigued now, and I think I'm gonna probably do some research on that so I have more educated things to say in the sidebars about the content that I'm doing. Oh, a vehicle. That's kind of rare. Don't often see vehicles around here too much, especially in these back roads. Always wave hello. So the quarry trip is fun, and we're going to transition into another trip through some rugged trails. So I'm going to end the quarry trip video here, and if you're interested in seeing the next little journey, the next part of this journey, look for a future video or a video in the past. I don't know which one I'll do first, or maybe I'll be even so smart as to link it at the end of this video, so maybe even right now. So thanks for watching. I appreciate you guys sticking with me throughout all of the ups and downs with my content. I'm trying to diversify my channel a bit and do a lot of different things, incorporate my family into it, because it's kind of hard to take the time to film if I don't involve my family. I'm really not the type of guy to just peace out and do my own thing. So a lot of my content is going to be moving towards family stuff and family riding and family adventures and cool stuff that we do in Florida. So thanks for sticking with me through that. Hopefully you do stick with me through it and help my channel grow and grow with me and my family and what we're doing. So if you like what I'm doing now and you have a family, this is going to be the right channel for you. So you can't go wrong sticking with me. Alright, enough babbling. Let's hit these trails. So thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.